guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here at the 2022 edition of the Chicago Auto Show, walking around the showroom floor, and of course we had to stop at the Chevrolet booth, not only because of the new upcoming Z06 Corvette, but because of this truck here. This is the upcoming all-new 2024 Chevrolet Silverado EV. But before we get into this electrified Silverado, let's talk about what's going on here. Obviously, you gotta be living under a rock to not know that the auto manufacturers are moving towards electrification. Now, it's not just about Tesla anymore. There's some new players in this truck segment like Rivian, plus you're finding other brands, GMC, and of course Ford, bringing electrification their own way to their pickup truck lineup. Now, the Silverado has been that mainstay from Chevrolet for so many decades for people to get that full-size pickup truck usability. Now, going towards electrification, obviously, many different ways you could spin it. It's interesting to see Ford's take with the new F-150 Lightning. Of course, the name return from GMC with the Hummer EV truck, and now the Silverado EV. One thing is for sure, competition is gonna increase not only overall amongst the manufacturers, but because of that competition, it's gonna make a better product, I think, in the future for everyone. So let's go ahead, let's find out, has Chevrolet hit the electrified nail on the head with this Silverado EV, or has Ford picked a better route going with the F-150 Lightning? Let's dive in to this 2024 Silverado EV. Now, right off the bat, one thing you should know is that it just shares a name with the existing Silverados. There's no carryover parts from the regular Silverado lineup. Plus, guess what? If you're saying, well, hey, this looks like another Chevrolet truck that I used to own, an Avalanche, that happened just by circumstance. But let's start at the front of the business. Of course, you're gonna get Chevrolet style, but with a unique, different twist. Check out the full LED lighting, of course, LED daytime running lamps, turn signals, and the way that they set up the headlights. Something a little different than your standard Silverado. So you're gonna have your LED projector beam headlight in the lower section with the full LEDs in the corner here. On the lower side in the middle, you do have this fake vent area, which I am gonna have to zonk. I wish that was a functional side air curtain, but I like the way they went with the gloss black on the fender flares. Gives it that nice style and detail. And then working your way down, what you are gonna find is how they brought down that lower fascia. Of course, being an EV, it's not just about battery strength, but it's also about how you cheat the air, how you slice through the air like a hot knife through butter. And obviously with all of the design, taking coefficient of drag into this equation has been very, very important. Now, coming across the front, you got that Chevrolet bow tie, so much history, so much tradition. Love the way it illuminates on and off with the way they have the lighting. Another thing to remember is that you're gonna have different trims. Now, the base trim is gonna be the WT trim. That's gonna be your work fleet truck trim. This one is the top dog. This is the RST. This is gonna have all the goodies, not only on the outside, but also underneath when it comes to the electric motors. Now, in the center section here, you do have this functional grille area, and then working your way all the way to the bottom, I like the way they work that area to really give it that truck appearance, because I think that's what's important, is that people want to feel familiar with their Silverado. Now, of course, underneath the front hood area, you're not going to find any kind of naturally aspirated power. What you are going to find, and we are going to be able to open and show it for you, is that front mounted trunk. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna bring that in this review. But as we come around, going with the RST trim, things get massive. This is a massive truck. Things get massive when it comes to wheels and tires. This is not a 20-inch. This is not a 20-22-inch. This is a 24-inch wheel. Absolutely stunning, just sitting here staring at it. 275 on the width. You got a meaty 50 series sidewall. And you'll notice that the way they designed it, not only does it look really futuristic and contemporary, but the machined aluminum, the gloss black, and then of course, this is gonna help channel air down the side of the vehicle. Now, if you're comparing this to the GMC Hummer, you might be saying, well, what's underneath? What's powering this? GMC Hummer, the one that's coming out, that first edition, is gonna have 3 electric motors. This has 2 electric motors. So the RST is gonna be your top dog with 2 electric motors. We'll talk more about horsepower and torque in a few short minutes here, but Definitely nicely done with the style. You have that carbonized metallic features that they put on the different Chevrolet products. And then coming down the side of the vehicle, like I said, has the proportions of similar to the Hummer, but definitely in a different approach. Gloss black on the mirror caps. We have the LED turn signals looking great. I love the two-tone style. I think the two-tone sets it apart, especially with the blue. Kind of makes the truck not so top heavy because of the size of this vehicle. Now, on the lower end of things, look at the way they did the little fine details. And these are the things I like to point out. Simple things like the E in Silverado being that blue color because of the electrification. You have that lithium-ion battery pack that's going to be in the center here. That actually lowers your center of gravity. And that's the thing I think that surprises me the most, is that the first EV that I drove, even though it weighed quite a bit, it actually handles very surprisingly well because of the lower center of gravity. Working towards the rear, you do have stationary running boards, very nice touch. And then, like I said, I think this is the part of the truck that says Avalanche. But like I said, Chevrolet did not go in an Avalanche direction. This is just from design meeting form meeting function with the way the cab extends into the back. And then as we come all the way to the back of the truck, you'll notice that we have the multi-position tailgate. You're gonna have those massive openings for boots of all sizes so that you could get into the bed of the truck. You'll notice the LED lighting, very nicely done with the job on the taillights. And then kind of dropping our way down a little bit here, you are gonna be able to tow, and we'll get into numbers about towing and all of that work duty, but look at what we got in our bed. So you're gonna have that nice wide open bed area, LED lighting, and we have the folding mid-gate. So here's where it actually folds down and you could get that extra length with the use of this truck to do the things that you need to do, no matter if it's work or play. Plus, you're gonna get some new technology. But speaking of technology, why don't we get into the interior so we could showcase what's going on with this new Silverado EV. All right, guys, here we are. Now, this is a pre-production unit, and they're not allowing people to sit in it, but they are allowing us to bring you to the interior. Now, I know the big question is, especially if we're comparing this to the Ford Lightning, what about price? Ford seems to have nailed the price with the Lightning. With this truck, this being the fully loaded one, you're looking at an MSRP a little over $100,000. Now, I know you might be saying to yourself, well, Joe, that sounds a little out of control. Remember, the base model, the WT, is gonna have a starting price of around $40,000. So there is gonna be other trims, but the RST is gonna be that introduction trim, dual motor setup with all the power. But let's see how it stacks up against the Lightning. To the door panels, love the clean style. You have the two-tone with the off-white, the flat black, just a little bit of gloss black, and it's not even in places where you're gonna touch. So that's gonna help with the fingerprint issue. Of course, you're gonna have that pocket down below, nice and long for all those Subway 12-inch sub sandwiches. Eat fresh, and you could drive fresh in this electrified version of the Silverado. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, look at the work that they did with the AC vents. All the design touches, the stitch work. You have a large pocket right in the center for at least, I would say, 5 Twinkies there. And then working your way to the center stack, we now have new technology. Not an 8-inch screen, not a 10-inch screen. That is a 17-inch infotainment system screen with full touch capability. Obviously, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, navigation, all the different features. You have dual climate, heated seats, and ventilated seats. So Chevy has really upped the game when it comes to their technology in their trucks. Love the nice red touches, especially on the switchgear. You have physical knobs, nice storage places for more of those snacks, 2 cup holders. And if you're wondering, well, what about range? They're saying that there's gonna be a range of around 400 miles with this truck, and horsepower, RST is 664 horsepower, 780 pound-feet of torque in the RST trim. You'll also notice that you do have wireless charging for your cell phone. And then I also am really digging the touches on the center armrest. The nice soft touch material, the red stitching, the Alcantara in the center, and then the seats. Really clean, but it also feels feels familiar at the same time, and I'm really liking the way that they're going with different colors. It's going to be interesting to see if they do something like Cadillac does, where they allow you to really custom tone the colors to a specific pattern that you like. Of course, you're going to get this massive glass roof, really going to bring in the sun's rays, and then you have the Alcantara material, not only on the headliner, but also on the A-pillars as well. But why don't we switch sides, come on the business end, and I'll show you behind the wheel of the new Silverado EV. All right, guys, business time, where I know you want to hopefully be sitting one day. Another great touch with this Silverado is what's called the WOW mode, wide open watts. It's very similar to what Hummer does with their EV truck, but that's going to give you the full power potential of the twin motors. 0 to 60, Chevrolet's claiming in around 3.9 seconds, 0 to 60 in this truck that weighs over 6,000 pounds. Now, when we look at the business side of things, you'll notice that the steering wheel, very nice leather. I like the way they went flat bottom with the wheel. The badging, a little bit of gloss black, but nothing too crazy. And then, of course, we're gonna have standard with this truck is the Super Cruise feature. That is that semi-autonomous driving that we brought to you when we did the Cadillac Blackwing drives, showing you that technology. But you do have on the back of the steering wheel those different buttons to function the different features. And then, of course, you're gonna have Regen Braking to help you with the overall power potential of the battery system. Now, when it comes to the dash, check it out. All new 11-inch digital dash display. Really love the color, the graphics, the fonts. That's going to allow you to scroll through the different modes and access just about anything that you need. And then, of course, when it comes to technology, you're still going to get with the rear view mirror, that digital rear view mirror capability, and that is going to allow you to have a nice clear view out the back no matter what. But speaking of the back, let's get to the back seat and see how much room there's going to be in this Silverado EV for your passengers. All right, guys, backseat time. And like I was telling you, with that WOW mode, being able to go wide open watts of power and have that fast 0 to 60 is really going to make your passengers have a hoot of a time. Plus, that means it's faster 0 to 60 than the Lightning. But speaking of the back seat area, we left the rear mid-gate down. So this is how the mid-gate will actually fold, and both sides will do that, so you could actually extend the length of the bed area. It's engineering like this that really makes this Silverado EV very unique. And then, of course, on the rear seats, you're still getting that same great material. You're gonna have heated seats in the back, plus you're gonna get all the connectivity at the back of the center console area, and you get the increased storage. One other thing to point out is that the rear glass is actually removable. There's a carrying case, and you can remove the rear glass to really give you a unique driving experience. But this isn't the only storage area to extend. Let's open up that front-mounted hood to see the front-mounted trunk in our Silverado EV. All right, guys, it's that moment to open up that front-mounted trunk, and you can see just how cleanly, that smoothly it opens up. And this is what makes an EV truck so unique, is being able to have this storage. And that, I think, was so smart by the designers and the engineers to have this extra space for whatever you need, because that is what is going to help expand the excitement and the usage of the versatility of this Silverado EV. But you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go check out the back area and see what's happening in the bed of this Silverado EV. All right, guys, I wanted to show you the multifunctional capability of the tailgate. Plus, we didn't get a chance at the start of the video to show you what the Silverado looks like with the tailgate in the totally up position. Really nice style. And like I said, people familiar with the brand, familiar with Silverados, are gonna like how cleanly styled the rear tailgate is, especially when it comes to the functionality and the usage. So I'm gonna have Dan come on in. He's here to help us. He's a product specialist with Chevrolet, and he's gonna show us the multifunctional capability and how easy it is to use with this step system. This is something that, of course, we've seen on other General Motors products, but this allows you to have that capability to get in and out so easily in the back of this truck that you're not gonna find this on your Ford Lightning. And that's what allows us on top to now have also the folding midgate that really revolutionizes what a truck is all about because of where the battery pack is, where the two motors are located. These are the things that make this a big plus. Now, I know you want to go on throttle, especially with that wow mode, right? Wide open watts. We're going to be bringing it to you soon in a few, maybe hopefully weeks or months. We'll see how it goes with bringing this to market, but this is expected to go on sale in 2023 as a 2024 model. So it's going to be good and it's going to be worth the wait. But we are here at the Chicago Auto Show and we need to wrap it up. So let's get that done. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day here at the 2022 Chicago Auto Show. I definitely want to thank the whole Chevrolet team for allowing us access to the new Silverado EV. Let me know what you think about this electrified truck. Is this the way you would want to go? Are you thinking about maybe going with the Ford F-150? Or do you already have, and of course that Lightning, the F-150 Lightning, but of course, do you have maybe an order in for a GMC Hummer EV? But put it in the comment section. But until we meet again, and until we get behind the wheel and go on throttle in this Silverado, if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Definitely want to show some love in the comment section for hardworking camera woman of the year, Lori, working that camera like a champ. Thank you for all that you do. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.